The worst day of my life, kind of a long post. These are the events of the worst day of my life. My wife, my confidant, my best friend, the person that I thought would be there for me no matter what, became my enemy that day. My wife hated me and wasn't afraid to tell me that day. Hours days before, she would have dared to tell me that she hated me. I was confused and I did not understand what was happening. On that day I felt like a child whose parents were abusing them and all they wanted was to be loved. To summarize things, my wife called the police on me, left the home that we picked out and purchased together, left our children, and then she went to have us time with and spend the night with another man. We had been married for 10 years and had 2 children together. At the time I did not know that's what was transpiring. As I sat broken in the home that we built together, I began putting the pieces together. I knew what was happening. In all honesty, I had known for weeks, but I had refused to admit it to myself. The signs were all there, but I gave her the benefit of the doubt and I refused to see what was happening right in front of my face. The only issue is at that point I didn't know with whom it was happening with. I thought it was with her friend Mel from work, but it turned out to be her boss. She did an excellent job of hiding in plain sight and throwing me off her trail. Her lies mixed with the trust that I had in her made it hard for me to pinpoint what was going on. All I knew was that my marriage was unraveling in front of me and I was scared. I felt helpless. Little did I know, I really was helpless. Not only did 2 of the worst things imaginable happen to me, but I almost threw my life away that night as well. I waited outside of her place of employment from midnight until 7 a.m. the next morning on the person that I thought she had spent the night with. I was thinking with pure anger and pain. I was so hurt by the one person that I thought would never hurt me that nothing in life mattered to me at that point. I look back and I am so thankful for the way the events of the following morning transpired. Had any choices been made different, I could possibly be writing this from a 10 by 10 cell. The day that turned out to be the worst day of my life had been building for many months. By the time I realized what was happening, it was already too late to stop the train that was already in motion. My wife had already been with this other man estimally multiple times by this point. She had already fallen for him. She did not have a plan of how to move forward, but she was certain that she didn't want me anymore. In my heart and mind I searched for what I had done to deserve this. Even though it has been months, I can still remember that day like it was yesterday. We got into an argument over nothing. She pushed every button I had until I grew frustrated and angry. She called the police. They arrived and then she left and went to another man's house. I did not see her until the next morning. To add insult to injury, today I was searching for study music to download. I have to download music in advance because a lot of time the connection in me study room is too slow to stream. While as I'm searching, I came across her favorites playlist. It's a reminder and a blueprint to what was going on with my wife and how she felt. Looking at the songs, the timeline, the lyrics hurt like I am their fucker. The first like song of the affair era on her favorites list was Love Bites by Def Leppard. From there, if you were looking at it from the perspective of a betrayed husband, it only gets worse. Martin Vite, Poison. And then we get to Love Is in the Dark. Further up the list we get to the song by Pia Mia, Let's Do It Again, where she's talking about her one night stand and how she wants to do it again. Then I see Just a Kiss. I imagine this song was favorited around the time that my wife had her first kiss with another man that wasn't me. It's painful to see, to be honest. I can look back and realize that this had progressed and that was the moment when I should have started seeing things. But I didn't. I honestly should have seen things long before this point. From that point forward, my wife was no longer mine. Her thoughts, emotions, feelings, were all geared toward another man. As the playlist gets to the song Tomorrow by Chris Young, I don't know if that song was saved with me on her mind or with him on her mind. But the lyrics, tonight I'm gonna love you like Therese No Tomorrow, leads me to believe that she was thinking about him. As the playlist continues, I could tell that my wife's feelings and opinion of me were changing. Initially she was awestruck with her new interest, so that's the focus of the songs. The affair era playlist started with lust and excitement, but as time went on it got sadder. I could see in the music what my wife was feeling. She was hating me. She was thinking that I was different now. She was over me and she was wanting things back to the way they used to be. She was done with me. The music tells the tale. The thing is, I hadn't changed. No more so than people do in long relationships. What was changing was her view of me. And it was a warped view because of her affair. She was convincing herself that I was a horrible person. A horrible husband, that I didn't love her. This was the furthest from the truth, but it's what she needed to tell herself to be able to keep up her affair. My wife changed her hairstyle, which she had not done in over a decade. My wife began wearing makeup, which she had never done. She bought perfume. The other change which I didn't notice was that she began paying less attention to me. She started being angrier toward me. I was losing, and eventually lost here. She told me on the day that we got married that she would love me forever, but it wasn't true. On that day I realized she did not love me. I don't doubt whether she once did, because I believe that she once did, but on that day it was gone. She was daydreaming about another man. She was fantasizing about him. She wanted to be with him when she was with me. When we were together, she wanted to talk to him. When she needed a shoulder to cry on or someone to talk to, she ran to him and not to me. Update: should I fake it? What's love got to do with it? So last year I was cheated on by my wife, who I had been married to for a decade. I discovered her infidelity close to a year ago. She had a months-long affair with her boss, which culminated with them sleeping together multiple times. Flash forward to today. I have a very good job that I love, but it requires that I travel extensively. Most of the time it's just a week or two a month. However, a recent project has required that I be out of the country for a couple of months. This project is not complete and I am a few days away from returning home. The issue is that for the first time in the nearly decade and a half that I have known my wife, I am not excited to see her. I am actually regretting having to see her. I really don't miss her. I miss the comfort of my home, the comfort of having someone to be affectionate with, but I don't miss her. I miss our children tremendously though. The time away from the kids we have together is agonizing. I have been planning in my head what activities I will do with them when I get home to make up for being away. So the question is, should I fake my love for her? If I fake it, will I eventually feel it for real? Before discovering her affair, she was my world. I viewed her as if she hung the stars. She could do no wrong. Now I question everything she says. I get knots in my stomach when I give her compliments that are expected from a husband. Before I left for these few months, I did not feel this way. I was extremely hurt. I still am, confused, sad, bewildered, lost even. Now I just seem to be more mad than anything else. Mad at her for being so selfish. Mad at myself for wanting to work it out after the ultimate betrayal. How could I move forward and ever be happy with her again? I desperately want to be happy. I want our marriage to work. I don't believe in divorce. When I said I do, I meant it. I want to be a good role model for my children and to show them what commitment really is. My parents married in their 20s and stayed married until the day they died. I'm also scared of the unknown. Scared of losing everything that I have built over the years. I'm scared of having to restart. And then I'm pissed. I'm pissed at her for messing everything up. Pissed at her for putting me in a position of having to sacrifice my moral and ethical code to be with someone. Pissed at her for putting me in a position to potentially have to start over. I don't love her right now. Should I stay and fake it until I do? Will I ever love her again? On the flip side, the distance seems to have made her grow much fonder of me. She seems to be in a better place and seems to be genuinely in love with me again. However, when she says things like "I will love you forever," it's all I can do to not remind her that she already broke that promise. Update: she's doing everything right, but I still want to be mad. I 36 male am coming up on 2 years since my WS 42 female started her affair. In the immediate discovery of her affair, we both made all kinds of mistakes and caused each other more trauma than necessary. Recently, last 12 months or so, she's been doing everything right. Her attitude is different. She checks in, she calls, she plans family outings and then just couples outings. She isn't angry all the time. Her approach to disagreements is to try and see my side before she reacts. If I'm being honest with myself, she is doing everything right now anyway. I still, however, find myself mad to the point of telling myself that I hate her throughout the day. Where I used to brag to my co-workers about how awesome my wife was, Now I never mention her to anyone, and when a thought pops into my head that's positive about her throughout the day, I can't shake the voice in my head that says I hate that SHT. I am worried that this self-talk is affecting our recovery, but I don't know how to silence it. When I drive past the place that she worked during the affair her affair was with her boss, I can't help but get filled with rage. For a period we were doing really well with our recovery. We were getting back on track. But recently this anger is really affecting me. I'm mad with myself for begging her to stay with me after discovering her affair. Even typing it now makes me feel like less of a man. I'm angry that I was able to be so affected by another human. I'm angry that the one person that I trusted more than anyone else on this plate betrayed me. And I'm angry that I have lost faith in humanity as a whole. I desperately need help with this anger and with what I am feeling. I'm almost 2 years post D-Day, and I can say that I have literally thought about her affair every single day since discovery. Please help. Married for 10 years, together for 16 years. Have 2 children together. Update, not a revenge affair, but an affair to understand. Long story short, has been 4 years almost to the day since D-Day. I travel pretty regularly for work, and I'm on a work trip to an exotic destination about 4,000 miles away from home. I'm a pretty fit guy, and since I've gotten my self-esteem back, I've been decently outgoing in social settings. This has all resulted in a ton of female attention. I'm a married man, so normally I just take it in stride and keep it moving. However, recently all I've been thinking about is how I should do it too. I seem to keep running into women that want NSA fun. It doesn't help that I've been living in a hotel in an exotic vacation locale. I want to know what it feels like too. I don't just want to even the score, I want to know what she got out of it. I want the feeling of excitement, lust, etc. too. The other problem is, I don't just want to let my guard down and have an affair, I want to tell my WS about it. I know at that point I become the WS as well. I know it's wrong, but my WS already desecrated our vows. She already broke our agreement, so why shouldn't I be able to do the same? I only get one life, and the fairy tale is now over. I will never be able to have one marriage where both partners are faithful until the day they die. At this point I'm just robbing myself of happiness, and I ask myself, for what?